Video focuses on how we can graph the toughest equations by first creating a table. Slope-intercept form, or y equals mx plus b, is one way to write linear equations. And if the linear equation is in slope-intercept form, we can quickly know what the slope is, quickly know the y-intercept, and build a graph. But not every linear equation will be written in slope-intercept form. Two examples are shown here of equations that are not in slope-intercept form. Because of that, we don't know the y-intercept and slope right away, and we're going to have to do a little bit more work to try to graph these. One option to graph these equations, not the only option, is to create a quick table by picking easy values for y or x. Realize we only need 2 or 3 solutions, 2 or 3 points to create a graph for our linear equations, and that we could use substitution to find solutions to these equations that we could graph. You want to be sure to pick easy values for x and y, things like 0 or 1, so that you can quickly put together a table before making the graph. Once we have our 3 ordered pairs or our 3 solutions, we can plot these points on a graph, make sure they all fall on the same line. Here's an example of a challenging equation for which we do not know the slope and y-intercept right away. If we're trying to graph by creating a table, I'm going to pick simple values like 0 or 1 for x, like 0 for y, and plug those into this equation. We see here 2y plus 4x equals 8. I'm going to replace the x with 0. 4 times 0 is 0. 2y plus 0 equals 8. And I know to get rid of that 2, I need to divide both sides by 2. We do something similar for when x is equal to 1, for when y is equal to 0. And you can pause the video to review the work and how we found those solutions. But this work tells me if x is 0, y has to be 4. That's 1 point or 1 solution for my equation. This tells me when x is 1, y will have to be equal to 2. And over here tells me if y is equal to 0, x would have to be equal to 2. Now that I have these 3 points, or these 3 solutions, I can quickly create a graph, open up my graphing tool, and the first point, 0 and 4. I'm going to go left or right, not at all, because the x is 0, but the y is 4. There's my y-intercept. Another reason I want to pick x equal to 0 as one of my points. The next point, x is 1, y is 2. I'd go 1 to the right and 2 up. And the final point I found in my table, when x is 2, y should be 0. 2 to the right, not up or down. And we see that this graph, all 3 points, fall on the same straight line. And now, based on my graph, I could start to realize the slope is -2, down 2, right 1, and the y-intercept is 4.